Hey y'all. Hi everyone. It's been a little while since I've done a live, but I'm super excited for the live that we have today. If this is your first time joining one of these lives, my name is Georgianne Gettin, and I am the CEO and founder of GSD Solutions. At GSD Solutions, we specialize in event tech support for virtual events as well as hybrid and in-person events. In this presentation, what I'm going to talk about is some of the biggest lessons, actually, five of the key lessons that we learned from producing virtual events in 2023. So now that it's 2024, we wanted to share some of these lessons with others so that way they can, make sure that their events, in person, virtual, all of it, go well, right? So we learned these five critical lessons after supporting over 100 events in 2023. So let's get into it. Alrighty, let's go. So I have my nice little presentation. Drum roll, please. From producing 100 plus events in 2023, how we did it, what worked, what didn't. So a little bit about myself, a little bit of background. My name, like I said, my name is Georgianne. Georgie is fine. I have over 15 years of events and operations experience, and I've been doing virtual events for over 5+ years now, way before the pandemic began. And for that work, I've been featured in multiple publications, sharing my insights, doing workshops, as well as running my company, GSD Solutions. So the first thing that we learned, simple solutions will save your life, right? In, I would say, 2021, well, end of 2020, 2021, a lot of people were trying to really get into the metaverse and use AI and use all these tools and widgets and things to amplify their virtual events. And while that is good, yes, make your virtual event better. Yes, I support that. Don't overcomplicate it, because you can have nice, interesting widgets without overcomplicating it. What we saw last year and in the years before that is that a lot of people will overcomplicate the event for their audience. If your audience doesn't usually do virtual events, or their virtual events are usually, a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting, and then now, you have your annual conference and you're trying to throw them into a super immersive avatar needs to be designed. You have to download plugins and apps and software to your computer. You're literally setting up yourself. That is a recipe for disaster. And I've seen it happen where you're getting dozens of messages. I can't log on. What's the code? My access is not going in. It's been revoked. All the things, right? I can't see the screen. My computer doesn't have enough bandwidth. My computer doesn't have enough space to download the thing. So on and on and on. And it stresses people out. And if a person tries to get onto your platform one or two times, most people, it'll be like two times. If they're a little bit more tech savvy, they'll keep going three times. They may hit up the tech support team, etc. But after that one or two times, especially if it's like folks that are just like not trying to troubleshoot, they're not going to come on. And I've seen it happen where we've had to switch platforms mid-event. I kid you not, mid-event, because people were not joining the platform. And then we're just like, all right, we're just going to live stream it. And then you either invested the money, time, resources in building this fancy, cool thing that no one knows how to use. So understanding your audience, figuring out what is the best, most robust, simple solution. You can have your nice widgets by working with a tech team or working with whomever to ensure that they work, they've been tested, everything looks good, everything is easy to function. There are guides and explainers for participants to join. And then you can make it all fancy and stuff, but it'll still be simple for the people that are coming on the platform to use it. So simple solutions is one of the biggest lessons that we learned. Do not overcomplicate your event. Next up, we've all seen this screen where you try to download something and then it's error. You just get errors, right? And the thing that I want to point out here, and yes, that's me, you need a technician. It doesn't matter how small or how large your event is, you need a technician. When you're doing these virtual events, if you're the person that needs to be responding to the emails of, Susie can't get on, a speaker's been locked out, the email is not working, you will be overwhelmed. We've seen it happen. We've worked with clients in the past and they just wanted to work, they booked us for pre-event support. So we were doing that, right? Pre-event, tech checks, and making sure everyone was good pre-event. And they're like, we got it. It's totally fine, Georgie. We got it for the day of. Or they're like, we only need you for the first hour and then we're good. The very next day, if it was a multi-day event, we need you for all the hours. And it's not to say that, nothing won't happen, but having a technician with you or multiple technician or a tech team will give the producer such a peace of mind to know if something does happen. It's like insurance, life insurance, car insurance, etc. If something does happen, I'm good to go, because 9 out of 10 events, actually 9.5 out of 10 events, something will go wrong. It may be small and it may be super large. Something will go wrong. And when we work with clients, I tell them that before. I'm like, listen, something's going to go wrong. What do you want us to solve first? Because I've never participated in an event that something did not go wrong. And it's not to say that events are done badly, but just humans, life, technology, all these things have error. So you have to leave space for error. But having a technician allows you to get that peace of mind that says, hey, at least when the thing goes wrong, there's somebody here that could solve that problem, support my people while I, run the show or host or make sure, sales are being made, right? You can focus on all the other very big, important things that need to happen during your event, your conference, your meeting, while the technician goes in and troubleshoots, contacts, if the problem is too big for the technician to solve immediately, then they'll contact support, be on the phone for hours or in chat support for hours, trying to figure out what the solution is, where you can continue the event and focus on what matters most. So that's number 2. And number 3, which is I started mentioning in number 2, something will go wrong. And if you are working with an event producer, or if you're an event producer who believes something won't go wrong, or like we turned every stone, we checked every bullet, we bullet point, we dotted every I, we crossed every T. Stop trying to play yourself. Like, why do we do this to ourselves and say it's gonna be perfect, it's gonna be fine? It's not. And I really want you to hear me when I'm saying this. It is not gonna be all right. Something will go wrong. Period. That's just a statement. That's just a fact. Now, what do you do when the thing goes wrong is the thing that we need to think of, right? So the roof is always on fire. And I love this little meme of the duck. He's like, this is fine. We'll be fine. That's where having a technician comes in, right? So we covered that step already. Then having a contingency plan, right? You need a plan A, B, C, D, E. You need to have backup plans, and not enough people have backup plans. And when people do create backup plans, they don't communicate the backup plans to the client, the event producer, the planner, the coordinator. And this might be 7 different people's roles, right, on the team, depending on how large the event is. And so you need to create a contingency plan, a few of them, then communicate to the main people for the event, whoever needs to approve the contingency plans. What is the chain of command, right? Do you have a special chat message outside of the platform in case the platform completely shuts down, right? I've had this happen. Like I said, we've experienced so many crazy things. If your chat, right, that you're communicating with the producer, the technicians, the speakers, etc., is on the platform shuts down. How do you then communicate? Do you send an email thread with 47 people on it trying to communicate and make a backup plan day of? No. You need to have some type of chat. WhatsApp is a really great resource for that. Some people use text message groups. Some people use Telegram. So any type of MMS, any type of messaging platform is really good for this. That is outside of the tool, right? So that's first, right? Communications. How are we handling that? So that's a part of the contingency plan. Then who needs to approve this? If the roof is on fire and we have to save one part of the event, who do we speak to? Who gives that green light of which contingency plan that we use? Oh, there's only 20 minutes left of the event. Do we just not restart or not enact the contingency plan? We're halfway through. The biggest 6-figure speaker that we have is about to come up. Do we, tell their team and try to push them? Or do we just, live stream it and have a backup link waiting for them? Do we send the links beforehand, right? What is that contingency plan? So The third thing, like I said, that we learned is that the roof is always on fire. Something is going to go wrong. Having a contingency plan is super important. So that way, you know what to do, who's going to do it, and how we can move forward to ensure this event continues happening and the rest of it goes as smoothly as possible. 4, oh my goodness, dongles. That's the word I use for it. I think that's the proper word for it, but I'm talking about all the cords and connections you need for your devices. So whether that be the charger for your ring light, the dongle that connects your computer to the HDMI cord, the USB for your camera, your web camera, the charger for your computer, right? All the dongles and cords and things. So whether if you're doing a hybrid event, this is way more important because you're not in your space, but I've seen it happen so often where somebody, oh, I have my presentation on my own computer, puts the computer on the podium. How do I get it connected? You have a 2027 MacBook and no one has the dongle for it. Please purchase the dongles for your devices so that way you ensure a smooth connection. I know folks sometimes put their presentation on USBs, and most computers. I have a MacBook from 2021 or 2020, and it has no USB port. There is USB A? Yeah, USB A port. But there's USB C, and now devices are changing. Now there's before the iPhone had like that one. I think I have it here, like the little charger like this. Now it's changing to USB C, and then there's USB A, and there's USB B. So I could go down a rabbit hole of hardware connections that you may or may not need, but be mindful of devices. The microphone I'm using right now is plugged in by I forgot what the MP3 plug cord title is, but not every device has that. So what is the physical tools that you're using, the hardware that you're using, whether you're completely virtual or you're hybrid or you're in person to execute your event? And do you have the proper tools for your devices? Oftentimes this is alleviated by having a technician, having a tech team that's there and letting them know in advance, oh, we have this type of device, we'll need these type of cords, so-and-so computer is going to be sharing, et cetera, and the tech team can bring that. But depending on how big your tech team is, as well as communicating to them in advance. If you have not communicated to your tech team that you need a special dongle or special cord or plugin, they will not bring it, right? They may have backups and things, but devices are changing all the time. Hardware is constantly being updated just as much as software. So ensuring that you have your own dongles and you communicate to your tech team what dongles, what plugs, what outlets, what extensions that you need, you will mess up there. So that's another big lesson that we learned. So we try our best to ensure that we bring these different devices when we go to, I have the HDMI that is USB-C, HDMI regular. I have like a little bank that has like the super old HDMI where it's like you got to screw it into it, because you just never know what devices a person has, and we try to accommodate for everything. But things happen, and somebody may have a Chromebook from 1901. You know what I mean? You never know what a person is going to bring. So either tell them in advance or bring your own devices, because it does make a huge difference. And if you're not able to transfer the presentation in time, and that could delay the event by minutes, even we've seen it happen by hours. And then the last thing that I want to mention, the fifth game-changing tech thing that we learned is that virtual isn't a nice to have. During the 2021-2022 hybrid was the big term. And I think, and I spoke about it then too, hybrid was cool or fancy or what people wanted to use, but hybrid looks different in every area, in every scenario, right? What is hybrid to you might not mean hybrid to somebody else. So let's remove that term. But having a virtual event completely online or having an in-person event, people don't want to choose anymore. Because if I am a mom that lives in Minnesota, and then there's this conference that's happening in New York, I have to get childcare, then I have to pay for flight, pay for hotel, accommodations while I'm gone. And there are so many different things a person might need to think of, whether they're taking care of themselves, their family, elderly, whether they have job obligations, right? So there are so many considerations. People moved from different cities and states and even countries during the pandemic. So how we live, how we work has evolved tremendously. So what I'm saying that all to say is that think about your customer or potential customers experience. Is having this event strictly in person going to limit their interactions with you? Can you offer a virtual component to the event? And tools like Zoom Events and Sugo and there's a bunch of different apps and software, and we have listed over 100 of them in our Events Reimagined guide. It's like a free guide that we have on our GSD Solutions Inc. website that has a bunch of different tools and softwares, hardwares that you can use for virtual events or hybrid events. But what it comes down to is, how are you accommodating your customers or potential customers, your stakeholders, your speakers, etc., and having a virtual component to your event, or vice versa, having an in-person component to your virtual event is going to make a difference for your audience. Because some people may not want to experience all of the in-person activations, but they want to receive the content. And having it, oh, we'll have replays later, that may feel a little disconnected. There are way too many tools that allow you to easily make the connection from the virtual to the in-person world. It is kind of like hosting two different events, but it can still be extremely cost effective. And I've seen it happen. We've produced events like this, but when you just do the strict in-person and no virtual, if you just do virtual and people are asking for it in person and you're not meshing the two of those spaces, you lose out. You lose out on audience, you lose out on opportunities, you lose out on building community, you lose out on potential revenue. So be mindful of the fact that virtual isn't just a nice to have. How can you incorporate virtual to your in-person? How can you incorporate in-person pockets to your virtual? And this is something that we talk about. So here in the examples, we have an in-person panel we're streaming to the virtual audience, and over 100 people joined virtually, and we had about another 30 to 40 people that were able to be in person. So now you've extended your audience to over 150 people when the capacity of the room was only 40, 50. And this other photo, we're here, it's a chat that's happening real time, live in person, and they're interacting with the people on the virtual part of the event. And what I want to highlight is that both of these things, we're using simple solution, Zoom. Everybody's familiar with Zoom. The majority of people are familiar with Zoom. There's over 500 million Zoom accounts and users. Yes, I said that. Over 500 million. That's 500 million accounts, right? I think that's wrong. I think it's over 500 million of 500,000. Okay, I'm gonna get my numbers exact, but it's 500 something. But long story short, right, you have to be mindful of these things. So to recap, before I hop off for today, the first thing that we learned, simple solutions work the best. Don't overcomplicate the solution that you're trying to use. You can add nice, fun widgets to make it interactive. You can make it fun, but simple solutions are going to be what is going to be the best for you and your audience. Second up, you need to have a technician, right? Depending on the size of your event, you may need one technician or you may need 10. So at GSD Solutions, we offer technicians. There's various other companies that do this similar service as well. But let's chat. Let's see how we can help you by getting you a technician for when the fires happen, because step number 3, the roof is always on fire. Something is always going to go wrong. What contingency plans are you putting in place? What plan of actions are you putting in place to ensure when that thing goes wrong, that your event can continue to go on even after that thing has happened? I forgot what number 4 was. Number 4, don't forget your dongle, right? I forgot my dongle. Don't forget your dongle. Whatever connections you need to produce your session completely virtually, hybrid, or completely in person, ensure you speak to your technician, speak to your tech team about it, so that way they can have it in advance, or you can make sure that you have those dongles and connections to keep your session going. And last but not least, virtual is not a nice to have, right? It's a requirement now. Incorporate virtual into your activities, and there are small as well as large ways to incorporate virtual. We could talk about that if you would like. So just reach out to us at GSD Solutions. We make event tech super simple. We love helping our clients to have smooth processes, whether that's meetings that they're doing virtually, hybrid, in person, full conferences, summits, etc., or live streaming. So talk to us. We're happy to help and figure out the best solution for you, your organization, and your events team to have a successful event with as little as much as possible tech headaches, because they're going to come. I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this for a long, long time. The tech headaches are going to come, and we offer a solution so that way, they're not that bad when you have them, because it's going to get crazy. So thank you so much, everyone that's tuning in live or on the replay. Again, I am Georgianne Gettin from GSD Solutions. If you have any questions or you need any support, reach out to us at gsdsolutionsinc.com, and we'll catch you in another video. As well as, check out our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, if you're watching this on another platform, head on over to our YouTube channel. If you just look up GSD Solutions Inc. on YouTube, and we have dozens of videos, tutorials, reviews, explainers, trainings on how to use various different tech tools and tech solutions for events or just for building your brand digitally. Alrighty, see y'all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.